Hi everybody, welcome to the channel. This is Shaka from Shaka Reacts, and today we've got another music teacher reaction and analysis video for you. Specifically today, guys, we're going to be checking out the group Voiceplay and their rendition of In the Hall of the Mountain King, an all-time banger in my books, guys. Super excited to check this out. With that being said, let's get into it.
Boom, boom, boom. La 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 la.
Oh. Wow. What an intro. Look at, first of all, the costumes and makeup here are incredible. Like, just incredible. To the point where, like, especially with the noses, I can't help but wonder, like, how much is that affecting their singing? If you guys ever try to sing and, like, plug your nose, ideally that doesn't affect too much, but it can depending on what you're singing. And I'm intrigued to see, one, if the video that we're watching here, are they singing live, or is this like a, kind of a dubbed over thing? I would assume it is. Now, I'm not saying that they can't sing this live in these costumes, guys, but just typically that's the way things work. They do the recording in a studio and things like that, and then they do the audio over top of a video like this. But I'd just be intrigued to see, like, how well can that translate to when they're actually wearing these costumes, because that's gotta have a little bit of an impact on their singing, I would think. The other thing that's really cool with this, I love the arpeggios through this, and all of the just really, really good blending from one person to the next to do these arpeggios like this and just pass it on, kind of a pyramid effect from one person to the next. It's really impressive to have it sound that seamless when you've got that many voices all, contributing to it like that. That's really, really impressive. We're also going to focus in, obviously, guys, on Elizabeth Garozzo. Hopefully I'm saying that name right. She is a featured vocalist here in this group. We'll get into her a little bit more as we continue on here, guys, but just wanted to point some of that stuff out. Really cool intro here. So in this section, I love just the different, tones and styles of voice that we get through this. So we have much more of an operatic voice from Elizabeth here. Then we get kind of more of what you would think like as a like a theatrical sound from oh my gosh, I'm totally blanking on his name. The Green Goblin here. And then from Ellie, we get more of kind of that rock opera, so to speak, if you will. That's kind of what we've referred to him before, as he's just like a rock god, so to speak. It's really cool, though, to hear all of those runs from those three different voices and have them be that distinctly different, yet still executed incredibly cleanly. Like, those runs are really tough to do, guys. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Like, not only to be able to sing the notes is one thing that's really impressive, but also to get the diction that clean and that clear at that speed, that's not easy to do. That really, really is very, very impressive from the three of them. We're going to rewind and check that part out again just because that's so cool. It's such a really cool section to feature those three different styles of voices there. Really, really cool. Oh my. Ooh, nice. Oh, I love that. That whole section was really cool. The forzando piano that we got here from Elizabeth was really well done. That's really hard to do at that high of a register, to be able to just pop that out and then drop down to almost nothing in terms of a dynamic and then come back in on that. That is really, really hard to do, guys. Like, so my background is brass, but in terms of the technique involved in that, it's very, very similar in vocals. To be able to do a sforzando piano like that, at that range and that loud, that is really, really tough to do. Very impressive. We're going to catch that again so you guys can listen to that and point that out here. Really cool. Love the reverb there. Like, that's just really, really impressive. Man. Oh my gosh, man. We kind of have been ignoring Jeff throughout this because he's incredible. But man, some of the low stuff that he's just belching out, especially like at the beginning in particular. The midsection, he's been more in a normal like chest range voice. He hasn't gone like down into the stratosphere down below. But this is like the first time since the very beginning where we just get some insane stuff from Jeff here. Really cool. And by the way, Ellie, so he's usually more of a tenor. We think of him as being a tenor. How about this section here where he drops down really low, like down into, I would say bass territory. That's not even necessarily baritone. I mean, it's a baritone range, but still, it's at the bottom of the baritone range there. He's really low there. I would not expect a tenor in like him to be down that low. That was really, really impressive here. That's just such a cool difference in tone there, too. We talked earlier about the tone between Ellie, Elizabeth, and then our man in green. I keep forgetting what his name is right now off the top of my head, guys. I'm sorry. But then we got Ellie and guy here in red. Is that Jose? I could be wrong on that, too. Sorry, guys. Sorry. I'm still getting some of their names. I've got some of the core ones here, but I'm blanking on a couple of them. The voice difference here between Ellie and his low register, and then this, it's clearly like a little bit of voice acting going on here. It's not just his normal singing voice, but it's really cool to hear the difference between the two of them there. That's really cool. Oh, I like a little hip-hop flair. And then we go to a swing. What is this? I love the style contrast here. So it's cool because we started talking a little bit about contrast between vocal tones, the tones of their voices, and how different some of their voice tones are, the tone quality and such. And then we get into this now where it's a total contrast in styles and genres of music too. It's really neat how much of a comparison contrast kind of a thing they've got going on here. So we got our more classical side of things with the straightforward symphonic aspect of the beginning part of In the Hall of the Mountain King. Then we get into this hip hop style that we've got going on with the backbeat and everything. Then we switch over to a swing style. Like, how cool is that, man, to have that very large of a difference in musical styles and genres. And then just two, obviously, to be to be able to do some of this stuff at this high of a speed and have them all doing different things. So we talked about the arpeggio sections. It's one thing to sing arpeggios all in like a da 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 da. It's another thing to throw in these different sound effects and stuff too, like the burp. Does he do that live? If any of you have ever seen this live, let me know in the comments. Do they do this live? And then two, does he do that burp? Like, does he literally burp, or is that a sound effect? I'm assuming like the whistle that they did earlier was a sound effect. But it sounded like the burp was real. But that's kind of crazy to think that would be done real in person. I'd be intrigued to know if that's done live or not, guys. That's really cool. We're going to rewind a little bit, listen to some of this section, like I said, just to hear some of the style differences. Really cool here. Like, that is really impressive. Yeah, we're back into like the more traditional style now. Whew. I love that ending. We talked earlier about how some of the runs were impressive. Then they just blew us out of the water with the ending here, guys, because the runs through this section are bananas. Bananas, especially in that upper register with Elizabeth. I don't know anything about her, but she's got pipes. Elizabeth Garozzo, I'm hoping I'm saying that correctly. She has got some serious pipes there, guys. Man, we're going to rewind a hair again to check that ending out, because my gosh, the vocal flexibility to execute those runs that cleanly and in those registers is really impressive. Also just... The other thing that's cool, I didn't catch this the first couple times. To add variety in what they're doing, they're changing their vowel sounds too. So we had from Jeff the first time, he was doing a boom, 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 boom. And then Ellie, what was he? La? I think he was doing a la or a ta, something like that. But they're changing their vowel sounds each iteration of this to give just the slight little difference in variety. It'd be the same thing as, so if we were thinking of this in terms of a string, orchestra playing this, it'd be like going from pizzicato to arco, and then, maybe doing a spiccato, something like that, just to try to add some variation in what they're doing in terms of the tone quality and the articulation of the sounds. So it's just a really cool thing that they're doing there. They're varying that to make it seem the same way as you would hear if you heard like an actual orchestra playing that, and varying their bowing techniques and things. It's really cool. And then she'll change it too. What's even crazier with her part is she's not just singing one syllable. She's going like lula la la lula la la la. I can't do it. It's like she's not using the same vowel sound the whole way through like the first two did. That's really impressive. You can hear she's kind of got like an ooh at points and then an ah at points. That's really impressive. That's wow. Oh. I love that ending. Love that ending. Man, really impressive. I'm surprised that we have not checked this out earlier. This is a real impressive work from this group, guys. Love what they had. I would love to see this one live in particular. Again, let me know in the comments below, guys. Do they do this live, and are those sound effects actually done by them, the vocalists? Or do they use sound effects during the live performances? I would assume they kind of do both of them to some degree. Like live, I would think they do the actual live effect, not using sound effects. It's a vocal effect is what I mean by that. But then obviously in this, where they've got a production crew and, you can do it in a studio, they're probably using actual audio effects as opposed to a vocal effect. I'd just be intrigued to know what they do when they're live. Really, really cool. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. If you guys did, I'd obviously appreciate it if you guys would like, subscribe. More importantly, turn on those notifications, guys, so you don't miss any more future videos that we've got coming out here for Voiceplay. Last but not least, of course, if you guys want to continue your journey down that music rabbit hole, make sure you check out the next video.